So the hot topic of the month is Ridley's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. 4. There's been arguments about how he would and wouldn't be too big, and I made a video about it myself, but that's not what I want to discuss today. I want to go over what kind of moveset Ridley would have if he did get in. I made a video about the subject almost 3 years ago, but my range of software for making videos has increased since then, and I'd like to go a little bit more in depth than before. Now, I'm not going to try and argue about Ridley's size, but I still need to discuss his size in Smash. I think Ridley should be the clear biggest fighter, but I don't think making him that much bigger than Bowser would be infeasible. Mortal Kombat has some huge characters, and Dragon Ball Z fighting games are fond of putting in giant monkeys. Of course, the style of those fighting games is very different to Smash, but the point is huge characters can interact with smaller ones so long as a balanced fighting style is used. Things could work. In terms of size, I think this model would be the appropriate size. He's very big, but there's still plenty of room to maneuver on the stage for everyone. And in this case, Ridley's size would be the major downside to his moveset. He would have pretty good reach, though not quite as good as his dedicated sword user, with the exception of his tail attacks. He'd be quite strong, but not quite as powerful as a dedicated heavyweight. I imagine none of his attacks would be stronger than Falco's side smash. He would also be quite fast, more so in attack speed than movement speed. So his size makes him easy to hit, and if he has a light weight, then he's easy to kill as well. So Ridley would be very easy to deal damage to, but also very good at giving out damage as well. He would also have two distinct styles of attacks: claw and biting attacks, which are for dealing knockback, and also light tail attacks for keeping enemies away and racking up damage. He would of course have quite good air game and an ability to fly. Multiple grabs and powerful throws would also be a staple of his moveset. His neutral B would be Charge Blast. This move is similar to Samus's Charge Shot. He can fire rapid up to 3 at the time, or charge a larger shot for strong projectiles. It is slower and longer charge than Samus's Charge Shot, but it's stronger when fully charged, and because that's fire based, it can destroy fireboxes. You don't actually see many fire projectiles, funny enough. Like the Charge Shot, it can be stored, but its lengthy charge makes it hard to charge up to full strength, since it's likely someone will manage to attack you before you're finished. When it's fully charged, Ridley's mount will flame like in his Meta Ridley boss fight in Brawl. In recent games, Ridley has been fond of scraping Samus off a wall. I translate this by giving him a grab based side B where he grabs his opponent and drags them along the ground. I could just make this a side throw, but I'd rather it was a special move as it gives him more grab options. By using it as a special, he could also use it in the air, in which case he'll slam the enemy on the ground, dealing extra damage before dragging them along. This can also be used to double suicide, similar to Bowser and Ganondorf's side B. His up B would also be a grab move. It's an upward dash similar to Charizard and Wario's recoveries. When he first uses the attack, he'll blow away any nearby enemies. After the initial launch, any enemy that comes in contact with him will be caught in a grab. Ridley will continue to the peak of the throw. For a second or two, Ridley will be able to move left and right before flinging an opponent downwards. If he doesn't contact with an opponent, he will just fall to the ground without any horizontal gain, so actually hitting an opponent is more advantageous. His down B is Tail Whip, his most powerful attack, though it's hard to hit with just right. When used on the ground, he takes the air and stabs downwards at a 45 degrees angle with his tail. His tail is quite narrow, and the sweet spot where he strikes the ground, not where the tail travels towards the ground, so hitting it directly on is quite difficult. It does deal damage to fighters standing near it when it impacts the ground, though, so while it's hard to hit with the full power of the attack, you can still deal damage with it easily enough. When using the air, it can hit easier and there's less delay before the attack, but it's not quite as powerful. I think everyone kind of agrees that transforming to Meta Ridley for free flight and stronger attacks would be the coolest thing for his final smash. Now I'm going to go through several other abilities he uses that I would like to see in his moveset. His A combo will be there in 3 attacks, 2 claw swipes and a small fire red. Unlike the clip shown, he wouldn't move forward with each attack. His side A would be a tail swipe, while most of his other ground attacks would be body attacks. Tail attacks are more prevailing in his aerial moveset. I'd make his side smash a wing attack. As a side smash, it's not very powerful compared to most characters, but the wing beat does launch gusts of air too that repels the foe. It has good range, but it won't deal any damage outside of the wing hitbox, but it's still good for keeping enemies away from you. And when timed right, it could be very useful for just delaying recoveries of your opponents. His dash attack will also be very different. It will be stronger than many dash attacks, but actually harder to hit with. I base it on the dash he has a Metroid Prime fight and an attack he uses another end. Like there, he will bring his claw back before attacking, meaning that in a strange departure, it's a dash attack with quite a bit of starting lag. Still though, it will be quite powerful and good range, so it's still a very useful attack. His standard down aerial will be a pound-like attack, similar to Link and the Ice Climbers, except Ridley will use his entire body. It won't be as strong as their attacks, and not nearly as strong as Bowser's actual down B, and it won't act like a spike either, but it is pretty easy to hit with since it has a large hitbox. Lack of many effective spikes is another disadvantage of the moveset, despite having very good aerial game. And lastly, flying in from the background would be one of his victory poses, and appearing as if he's camouflaged like he does in Super Metroid will be his entrance to the screen, to the game. And he'd also just roar and stuff for taunt. There's not really much to pull from the taunting, but it's easy enough to imagine him taunting, but just doing roars and stuff. And that's everything I can think of at this point in time. So I hope you enjoyed this, my Ridley moveset. I think this could work very well in Brawl, and though it's contrary to most of the styles I like to fight with, I would quite enjoy to play this moveset in Smash. So tune in next time and I'll talk about something else.